Fox News, I'm Therese Crowley. The clicker is counting at the southern border, with President Biden's new border reforms to shut it down once 2,500 migrants seek asylum in a day for 7 days running. GOP Senator Marco Rubio tells Fox.
It's too little because it's not going to do anything to change the crisis at the border. Even under the numbers, even if he enforces it fully, which he's not going to, you're talking close to 1 million more people, on top of the 10 million that have already come in over the last 3.5 years.
President Biden landed in Paris to mark D-Day at Normandy Beach 80 years ago tomorrow. First Lady Jill Biden not in Paris, but Wilmington, Delaware, front row of their son Hunter's federal gun trial. Hunter may face his ex-wife Kathleen Buell as a prosecution witness. And more human history made in space. The first manned launch of the Boeing Starliner from Kennedy Space Center, a success so far to dock with Space Station Harmony if all goes well. America's listening to Fox News.
In the News Center, I'm Stephen Stone. With summer months rolling in, it's the perfect time to enjoy a game of baseball. And thankfully, the Kingsmen baseball team, which is a summer league team comprised of college players, begins their season tonight. Former Winthrop headman Joe Hudak, the head coach of the Kingsmen, with more about the team.
Wanted to start a faith-based summer college team. Started under the umbrella of FCA, and so we were the Piedmont FCA, so we called it the Piedmont Pride. In 2016, I left FCA and started my own ministry, and it was Pride Baseball. And we changed the name in 2021 to Kingsman Baseball because we're the Kingsmen.
Kingsman's home field will be York Comprehensive High School. Coach Hudak added that around 15 to 20 games will be played in the Carolinas before the team gets to play in the Dominican Republic on missionary work. For the full 2024 Kingsman schedule, you can visit kingsmanbaseball.org. For more details on these and other stories, visit our website, WRHI.com. In the News Center, I'm Stephen Stone.
WRHI Rock Hill, W261CY Rock Hill. Good Pharmacy, Rock Hill's hometown pharmacy for over 60 years. Camden Avenue at Ebenezer Road. Straight Talk on WRHI FM 100.1 and CN2 is presented by Founders Federal Credit Union. Relax, you're with Founders. Now here's Manning Kimmel broadcasting live from Substation 2 on Cherry Road in Rock Hill with Straight Talk, selected by the South Carolina Broadcasters Association as the state's top public affairs program.
And a good afternoon. Welcome into Substation 2, Cherry Road across from Winthrop for another edition of our Straight Talk program presented by Founders Federal Credit Union. Relax, you're with Founders. Our thanks to our co-sponsor today, Comporium, your friendly neighborhood tech giant. Piedmont Medical Center is with us today, a community built on care. You can find out more about them online at PiedmontMedicalCenter.com. Well, today we have kind of a double feature. We're going to have another one of our candidates up for your consideration. His name is Tyler Bratton. He's a candidate for Solicitor. And then the second half of the show, Charlie Ruffalo is going to be joining us to talk about his upcoming 38th anniversary and a bunch of other stuff. So let's get started with Tyler Bratton. Tyler, welcome to Straight Talk.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here today.
Tell us a little bit about you.
Thank you. Well, I was born here in York, South Carolina. My family obviously has been here for a very long time. I like to think that York's near and dear to my blood, and these red hills and this red dirt runs in my blood because as the Brattons traveled across the sea, they settled in western Virginia. There was no West Virginia at the time. And then they came down the road to York County, and they decided to set up roots here in 1766, and we've been here ever since. So well, we've been around and involved in the community for a very long time.
Very long time. So you graduated from York High School.
I did.
Went on to law school someplace.
I went from York. I went to Clemson. And sorry to all of the Carolina fans out there, but I always pull for Carolina unless they're playing Clemson because my second father was in the military, and when he was abroad, he always pulled for all the South Carolina teams. So I've adopted his approach to things.
There you go.
And then I went to Charleston School of Law and had a great 3 years there. Yeah. And after that, I was a law clerk for almost 2 years with the Honorable Lee Alford, who is a family friend and a neighbor to my uncle. And the fact that we have known each other my whole life, it was a very impactful experience because he got the chance to teach me more because he was comfortable around me, and he always would question me after court. and his questions have impacted the way I view the system, the way I view the day-to-day operations of the court system, and it's made all the difference in my career. I think it catapulted me far above what my experience is, the fact that I had all that time with him.
So now you finished school and you clerked, and then where are you working now?
Well, after I clerked for Judge Alford, I was a solicitor at the beach for 5.5 years, and after that I came home, and I've been working for the Public Defender's Office for almost 4 years now.
Okay. All right.
And I think that that's important to note for people, because I'm one of the only, if not the only, attorney in the building who has learned how to think like a judge from Judge Alford, who did me just more help than I could ever imagine working for him. Then I learned how to think like the police and the prosecutors. And then I learned what it looks like when on the other side of the law, on how do you get things done. So I've learned how to think I've learned what the criminal defendants in our system think like. I've learned really I have a 360-degree view of the whole system, and I think honestly that makes me uniquely qualified to run the solicitor's office, because I understand the whole system from all angles.
Yeah, interesting. So I notice on your campaign ads that I hear all the time on the radio that you use the terminology fair and balanced. Explain to me what you mean by I'm your candidate who's fair and balanced.
Well, I appreciate that question. I'll tell you this, I'll give you an example. I have a guy who my current office has represented, and he, in 2 years, was arrested 6 times on his front porch for trespassing. That's unacceptable. And then he was prosecuted by the solicitor's office. That should just say, why is this happening? We have constitutional rights, and we want the police to keep our community safe, but we also want to make sure they operate within the Constitution and observe those rights. And you don't prosecute a case just because you want to get some value out of it. You prosecute a case that's worth prosecuting. And sometimes you have to dismiss some cases, and sometimes you have to prosecute it fully. And when you have the view that I have of the whole system, where I've seen all aspects of it, I think that makes me more fair and balanced than anyone who's ever run for this job here in York County, because, Mr. Brackett, he's been a prosecutor here for 33 years. He's never seen the other side of the law. He's never worked with the judge and tried to really learn how they think. He has been practicing law as a prosecutor for 33 years, but there's a difference between 1 year of experience, 33 years in a row, and 33 years of experience.
So I think you would probably agree that over the last, golly day, I don't know how many years this goes back, but the 16th Solicitor's Office over the last, 20 years, 30 years, something like that, has done a pretty good job in terms of eradicating backlog, convictions, that kind of stuff. So what is it that you would bring to the table that would make it even more effective?
Well, I'll tell you this. The nature of how the backlog, as you say, goes these days has changed significantly in the last 10 years. A case came out in the Supreme Court called the Langford decision, and it really took away from the solicitor's office the ability to manage the docket. It's technically run by the judges now and even the clerk of court. But the solicitor still has a say in it. But instead of having the only say, they only have, a third of the say. So I would be more focused on fairness and justice than I would be on the backlog, because we don't really have a great backlog right now. But that's also because we keep putting people back on the streets who need to be off the streets. So I'd be more focused on the outcome of trials and outcome of plea deals than I would be on the backlog, because it's really not the solicitor doesn't have 100% say in it anymore.
So is that to say, because I'm totally unfamiliar with all this stuff, but is that to say that because certain cases are pleaded out and others are prosecuted, that we've got people out there that shouldn't be out there, or we're prosecuting people that shouldn't be prosecuted?
Well, I use the example a lot that a guy who goes into the Walmart and steals a beef jerky and a cold beer shouldn't get the same sentence as a guy who robs a job site of $3,000 worth of lumber at midnight, especially if they're from Gastonia or Mecklenburg County or just not from York County. And we have that all too often where they're given, the same deal, I disagree with that. We have to protect our homeowners and our private and our small business owners. We have to protect them and their property rights. We also, in conjunction with that, oftentimes they're robbing these places and they're wreaking havoc in our community because of their drug addiction. And I think that we have to get the drugs off the streets, and I think that we need to do better at getting people rehabilitated on drugs rather than just put them in jail for 90 days and turn them loose, because that doesn't solve any issue. We need to get them out of the revolving door of the criminal justice system.
Of course, the rehab's a whole nother division, department, whatever.
We have drug courts here in York County.
Well, you have drug courts, but as far as actually rehabilitating people to get them off the drugs,
our drug courts do have the ability to do that. And I think they're underutilized. I think all of our, what we call at the courthouse, diversion programs, which would be mental health courts, drug courts, homeless courts, veterans courts, I think all of those programs are underutilized. And I would look to get more funding to help get these people out of the revolving door of the criminal justice system.
Now, funding, that's always, everybody wants more funding.
Right.
And your funding is coming from the county. Right?
And the state.
And the state.
And the solicitor's office does make money through their expungements, through their forfeitures, stuff like that.
So how would you get more money? Those are the sources, but how would you get more?
Well, it just involves working with people, but I'm not so sure right now. And here's the thing. The solicitor's office is not very transparent about their budget as far as what they have in their quote-unquote slush funds. I think they have the money right now to ramp up and improve these programs, but you won't know that unless you're running the solicitor's office, because they don't publish everything that they make and everything that they spend every year.
But the county does. The county has got all their financial things are transparent. They're part of the county.
And the county does give the solicitor's office over $6 million a year, but that mostly goes to salaries. So the other areas of where they have money in these funds, I'll tell you this, the last time that the current solicitor was run against, the guy FOIA'd a lot of information, and he came up with over 10 accounts that weren't accounted for as far as transparency to the public goes, and he came up with about $4 million in those accounts. That was in 2008. That was a long time ago. So imagine what's there now that is underutilized. And, for me, it's a big thing to use what you have before you go with your hat out and your hand out to the county council and the taxpayers and ask for more money.
So one of the things that has been brought up in your debates with the incumbent has been the issue of, your trial experience.
I understand that. And let me, I'm glad you asked that, because we all agree that Tommy Pope was a good solicitor, and he became solicitor when he was 30 years old. I'm 37 and be 38 not too long from now, and he did a great job. When Kevin Brackett started at his job, he was only a few years older than I am now. So I think that's a fair question, but I also think that.
But he also had a bunch of experience in the solicitor's office before he became solicitor, did he not?
Well, he was deputy solicitor, made deputy solicitor right after that. But the issue is that, look, I don't believe in career politicians. I believe in term limits, and I'll tell you this: the only way that term limits are enforced is with our votes, with the citizens' votes. I think that right now, you won't catch Tyler Bratton being the solicitor for 20 years. Because I think that after if you get comfortable, if you feel entitled to a job just because you've had it, then it's time to move on. Because you got to turn it over to somebody with a little bit of youth, a little bit of vigor, and a little bit of energy, so that we stay after these criminals here on the streets.
I got you. All right. So we got about a minute left. This is your opportunity to go at it one-on-one with the listeners out there as to why they should vote for Tyler Bratton.
Well, I'll tell you this, and this came to light at our last meet and greet, but the solicitor was asked about the fact that he's retired and essentially double dipping, drawing his retirement and his full salary. And initially he said that was not the case, and then he corrected himself and said that he's deferred his retirement for a later date, but he in fact is being paid pretty much 2 salaries by the citizens of York County. I think that's an issue that people here would care about.
Anything else you want to add?
Well, you know, one thing I'm big on is I want to help educate our police officers on how to make the best case possible so that we always feel confident taking it to trial. So I do want to implement periodic educational programs for them so that we make sure that while our taxpayer dollars are being spent, the police are making the best cases that we feel confident at winning with trial with.
His name is Tyler Bratton. He's seeking your vote next Tuesday on the 11th day of June. And as I tell all the candidates, thank you for being part of the process, because that's what makes this whole thing work, called democracy.
Well, thank you. It was a pleasure to be here today.
And that's going to wrap up this portion of our Straight Talk program, live from Substation 2, Cherry Road across from Winthrop, presented by Founders Federal Credit Union, Relax Here with Founders, and by Comporium, your friendly neighborhood tech giant. Good Pharmacy is with us, your hometown pharmacy, Ebenezer Road at Camden Avenue in Rock Hill. So now we have let's see how quickly you learn test, Kyler. We do this thing here at Substation 2. It's called Fresh Subs and Salads. We do it 6 days a week. We see the good doctor over here who's chewing on his lunch. He knows what to do. I don't have to tell him. At the count of 3, let's tell everybody how it's done. It's in the white letters, and we're going to do it together. 1, 2, 3.
Slice, slice, slice. Garden, garden, garden.
Not bad. We'll be back after these words.
If it's 12:30, it's Straight Talk on WRHI and CN2.
Have you ever wondered why so many people enjoy dining at Substation 2?
Love the bread. Number 19's the best.
Fresh, delicious bread.
It's fresh.
The food is really good, and it's a great price.
I'm Charlie Ruffalo, and I guarantee you'll feel the same way after eating here at Substation 2, Cherry Road across from Winthrop.
Dr. Carrie Watson, the trauma medical director at Piedmont Medical Center, says she's very proud of what's being accomplished at Piedmont.
We are able to do robotic surgery. We are a robotic center of excellence, and that's robotic surgery for general surgery like gallbladders, hernias, colon. We also have robotic urology, so that's things like kidney removals and things with your bladder. We also have robotic neurosurgery that we're doing, and that's pretty amazing. Not a lot of places have that.
Piedmont Medical Center, a community built on care.
When disaster strikes, one of the most important things is getting life back to normal. A little compassion can go a long way. Paul Davis is here for you. Paul Davis is committed to handling any property damage with exceptional care, because what we do is about more than property. It's about people. We have the training and expertise necessary to completely restore your property fast. For all your cleanup and restoration needs, call the experts at Paul Davis Restoration at 329-1140 or find us online at pauldavisrockhill.com.
Introducing 2 new high-speed internet options. Comporium has created 2 new levels of service that give you access to fast, reliable internet for a remarkably low monthly price. Whether you prefer the Lite or the Essential plan, you can do everything you want online without spending too much. Prices start at $29.94 per month for Lite internet, and Essential internet is under $50. Both plans offer fast internet and free virus protection. Call Comporium today to sign up. 833-619-1848.
Relax with a discounted mortgage rate from Founders Federal Credit Union without paying for discount points. For a limited time, don't pay the 1% fee and get the lower rate. And don't forget, Founders never charges for PMI or private mortgage insurance. Unlock your dream home with a great rate and a Founders expert to guide you through the home financing process. Stop by a convenient office location or apply on Founders online by May 31st to lock in your lower rate. Visit foundersfcu.com/mortgage to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. Membership qualification required. Equal housing lender.
There are lots of reasons why people like dining at Substation 2.
A good deal for a delicious sandwich. Quality of the food. I get what I want. It tastes great every time.
Hit the spot, definitely. It's amazing.
I'm Charlie Ruffalo, and I guarantee you'll feel the same way after eating here at Substation 2, Cherry Road across from Winthrop.
Straight Talk on WRHI FM 100.1 and CN2 is brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Relax, you're with Founders.
And back we are here at Substation 2, Cherry Road across from Winthrop, and lo and behold, who pops up out of the office where he was where he was prepared for the second half of the show, but the owner of this fine establishment, Mr. Charles Ruffalo, who is going to be celebrating 38 years in business tomorrow.
Yep.
Good for you.
Here at this location. I bought it when I was 5 years old. So
There's the first lie.
Right. Now, tomorrow, 38 years. And we're doing a little special something if you can get here early. The first 38 customers, Manning, are going to get a card for a free sub a month for the next 12 months.
Really?
Yep. And then that's the first 38. And then the second 38 will get a one-time use card for 38% off any order.
Any order.
So come get a big catering order and get 30% off.
You got a big Christmas party? You want a whole bunch of stuff?
Right,
What the heck?
Right, because it's good until next June. So, that'll be fun. And I'm going to have coffee from Knowledge Perk and some donuts out there in the morning for anybody that comes early to get in line. We open the doors at 10, but you're welcome to come whenever. I'll have coffee and donuts out there if you do.
What time are you going to arrive with the coffee and donuts?
That's to be seen. I'm hoping by 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Oh, that's a fat chance of that.
Oh, come on. I got up at 4:30 this morning thanks to my knucklehead colleague. But anyway.
Well, good for you. I tell you, being in business for 38 years is an accomplishment. Good for you.
It's been fun. Sometimes it feels like it's been a week. Sometimes it feels like it's been a millennia.
Yeah, particularly how well we remember COVID.
Yes.
And what it's done to every business we all know. And I can remember us doing programs here on Straight Talk when we talked about I can't get my turkey, I can't get my cups, I can't get this, I can't get that. And then the prices are going up. I mean, I don't know what turkey is now compared to what it was before, but it's dramatically different.
Turkey is 50% higher now than it was before COVID, but it was up 200% more.
Oh, my God.
I was spending $2,500 a week just on turkey.
Whoa.
Just on turkey. Before COVID, it was $800.
Jeez.
It was $800 before COVID. The same amount of turkey, same quality turkey, because I refused to buy a cheaper quality.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. So I was taking that on the chin. I mean, it's nuts. Now it's up 50% over what it was.
And he's happy. It's 50%.
Yeah. It's like our gas prices. We're happy it's only $2.88 right now. Frustrating. Yeah, and produce has gone nuts. Lettuce right now is $45.50 a case. This time of year, it should be around $25.
Tomatoes, everything.
Tomatoes are up. It's just crazy. And what's really up is our plasticwares, our cost of good, our salad trays, our forks, napkins, the cost of the non-perishables that we carry. So, for instance, my plastic wrap, my plastic bags are up 300% since before COVID.
The sub bags?
Mm-hmm.
No kidding.
300%.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So people wonder why the $5 special ain't no $5 anymore.
No.
It's easy to see why.
Right.
It has to be.
Yeah, and then if you want to throw in the labor situation, nobody's going to work for $10, $12 an hour anymore. And minimum wage is still $7.25. You can't even offer them $10 an hour to come in the door. Never mind whatever.
Jeez.
And that's just hi. What would you like? Can I put lettuce on your sandwich? Thank you. But I tell you, I got a great team. Let me tell you, yesterday was bonus day. They hit all their numbers and sales have been good, so they all got nice little bonuses yesterday.
I didn't get a thing.
No, because you didn't do the work. You just sit there and sell hot air.
My friends are killing me. Okay, so one of the things that we had a news story on about you here recently was you put together a hospitality group just to sit down as fellow restaurateurs and talk about what you do, what's right, what's wrong, what can we do to help each other, da-da-da-da-da. How's that going?
It's going well. The people that show up are really engaged, and we bounce ideas off of each other. I just got to thinking in this town, and on the internet, people will bash a restaurant in a heartbeat.
Huh.
And there are restaurants that do deserve to be bashed that are not generally, but they're generally corporate ones where the owner's not on site. What I focused on was getting together local ownership or management that are here on site every day in their operation, and we get together and talk. How do we handle certain delivery issues, online ordering? Just different incentive programs we have, our advertising. We talk about what works best for each of us, and if we elevate each of our games, it's only for the better. If we learn how to take care of our customers better, take care of our employees better, and we share that information amongst which we are, we're very freewheeling with the information and willing to share what's going on as far as.
So the biggest challenge that you're hearing from the group, is it people or is it just costs of operations?
It's the people, it's cost of operations, it's advertising and general awareness of how to get people nowadays. You're inundated with so many advertising pushes all day long. What works best, and what we found.
So let's talk a little bit about this crazy thing called the internet. It's a blessing and it's a curse.
Absolutely.
What I can't get over, it's become an electronic beef box for anybody who's ticked off about something. They put a little bit too much mayonnaise on my sandwich, so I'm going to trash the restaurant. That's just crazy.
I'd love to read those comments. I've been a customer there for decades, and they forgot my mayonnaise, so I'm never going back. Yeah. Hello. Go to your refrigerator. On the drawer, open the door. On the second drawer, second level, there's a jar of mayonnaise. Put it on. Sorry, we forgot it. We'll make it right next time, but come on. And then they want a free sandwich because we forgot the mayonnaise.
Oh, yeah.
Did they tell us that they wanted the mayonnaise, or did,
Yeah.
But no, the internet is just a bane and a blessing.
So there's no real pure, guaranteed way to deal with somebody who's going crazy on the internet. I know you actually will call some of these people or reach out to them.
Yes.
And say, what's the problem?
If somebody has an issue and they haven't brought it to my attention, yet they bring it to the internet, I will engage them publicly. Call me, please. Yeah. And then we'll go behind the scenes and work. There's nothing I can't fix. Yeah. We make mistakes. We're human, for crying out loud. We serve, 300 customers a day. Yeah. We're going to drop the ball occasionally. Yeah. But I'll make it right. We had a big problem recently with our online orders. People would come in and steal other people's orders, whether accidentally or on purpose, I don't know. And it's not so much the cost of that, but what it was when Bill comes in to pick up his order and it's not there because somebody else took it, then Bill's got to wait, and that doesn't sit well with us and doesn't sit well with Bill while we remake his order. But anyway.
So that there's a bell up there now, ladies and gentlemen. The object is to ring the bell. Right, Charlie is not going to give you. Charlie is not going to give you his sandwich, even if you're standing there. Right. You're not going to get that sandwich until you ring that bell.
You can stand right in front of me and tell me they're for order. I say you got to hit the bell. Sorry, you got to hit the bell. Yeah, that's so they get our attention because the way our store is configured, there's a big Pepsi machine, and we can't always see somebody standing over there looking for their order. Right. We have now put it out of people's reach so they can't help themselves.
Yeah. Good idea.
But I make you ring the bell. Ring the darn bell, folks.
Okay, the community is growing. We have talked on this program a number of times about the homeless issue. You see it. Even the gentleman who was just on Straight Talk says he see that's growing even up in Fort Mill. You, being the kind, generous soul that you are, you have fed people countless times.
My culture at Substation 2 here in Rock Hill has always been to help those that are in need. And for decades, since I opened, we would, somebody in need, we're going to feed them. And that generally for, 30 years it cost me about $200 a month, which was very manageable to give away. Well, since COVID and this influx of homeless for whatever reason, we call them hard luck stories. We don't call them homeless because they may. No. Anyway, it got up to almost $1,000 a month.
$1,000 a month
that I was giving away, and so I had to put a stop to it. I backed it down to $500 a month, and when we hit 500 given away, then we're stopping. That's $6,000 a year. But people were coming in, Manning, driving cars with their nails done, their hair done on smartphones, and saying, "Oh, I want a free sandwich." We didn't qualify anything, but we would just feed them. Well, we felt we were being abused, and then they're bothering our customers, hitting them up for money, even though I'm feeding them and asking them not to. It just got untenable, so now I've had to actually curtail that program. I do not hand out food anymore.
But just so people know, he does help a lot of non.
Yeah, there is that side of the coin because the Bethel shelters, the pathways, and the people out there, the Lifehouse, that are feeding people and taking care of them. Those are the people I donate to and help because I know that they are helping people that are truly in need and not just people that, I can get a free sub there.
Well, I would imagine that your hospitality group is talking about this as well.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's part of the discussions. There is a community fridge downtown at the Mercantile. And so what some of us have agreed to do, myself, is make a number of sandwiches maybe twice a month and just put them down there in that refrigerator.
Right.
Because I feel the pull to help those in need.
Oh, yeah.
But it became untenable. People started tearing up my property. One lady was upset because we wouldn't give her the sandwich of her choice, so she flushed a handful of socks down the toilet in the ladies' room, cost me a couple $100 for a plumber to come and fix that because she was upset because she couldn't have roast beef for free.
Okay.
So,
I think
anyway.
they call that mental illness, and whatever
sad.
the issue is, it is sad.
It's sad because it's such a multiple head, and I'm so happy to see the city and town addressing it as we do.
Very quickly, 38th anniversary tomorrow. First 38 people through get a card that gives them a free sub a month for a year, right?
Yep.
The line will begin at whatever time. Charlie will
time
be
you
serving donuts and coffee. He says it's 7:30. I don't believe it.
I don't either. Maybe 8 o'clock.
And then there'll be discounts for the other 38 that come in as well.
The next 38.
Happy 38th, Charlie Ruffalo, and thanks for all you do for the community, buddy. You're a good guy.
You're welcome.
And that's going to wrap up our Straight Talk program live from Substation 2, Cherry Road across from Winthrop, presented by Founders Federal Credit Union. Relax here with Founders, and by Comporium, your friendly neighborhood tech giant. Now we have brought a fresh new personality in here who's going to jump on the microphone as well, and she is going to assist us with what we do. I don't need the shirt. She says, I know. Her name is Al. Figure out who Al is. We do fresh subs and salads, and we do them 6 days a week. Cannot get him to do it 7. All right, so 6 days a week. How do we do it? At the count of 3, everybody. 1, 2, 3.
Slice, slice, slice. Garden, garden, garden.
There you go. Have yourself a nice day. We'll see you on the radio tomorrow. Bye.
South Carolina's most honored radio station. News Talk 100.1 WRHI Rock Hill. W261CY Rock Hill. The voice of York County.
An OTS media station.
Prosecutors pick up the pace on the